Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Pete, and this is the Roaming Prepper channel. I try to keep folks up to date with ongoing events that may be relevant to those of us of a preparedness mindset, and more importantly, to make sure that we're thinking a little bit outside the box. Regardless, thank you for joining me, and I hope this is informative to you. So, we have early voting here in Texas as of the last week of February, first week of March, before the primary official date. Now, Texas has an interesting voting system because you have an electronic machine. You scan your driver's license, you get a paper ballot with your information on it. You put it in the machine, you select who you want, and not only does it record everything, it prints it onto the ballot sheet. I then take the ballot sheet and bring it to a counting machine. I insert my sheet after I can physically make sure it's right, insert my sheet. It then counts my ballot, puts it electronically, and it deposits my paper copy underneath the machine. So you always have an electronic one for convenience. If there's a question, you have a locked box with all the ballots in there to validate. So great system. Every freaking state should be using this because if they hack the computers, you can still go and manually count the paper ballots. But I digress. That's not why I was doing this video. I'm doing this video because of the propositions to the Texas Constitution that showed up. Now, I'm going to show you. Now, I voted on the GOP side just for disclosure. Um, Purely because I think it relates a little bit more to what I think. But let me find, there it is. These are the propositions. Now, Proposition 1, what, let me make my little dude smaller so you can see. Proposition 1 was Texas should eliminate all property taxes without increasing Texas' overall tax burden. Yes or no? That's tax related. Texas should create a border protection unit to deploy additional state and military forces to seal the border and deport blah, blah, blah. Not a surprise. Texas legislature should require the use of e-verify for all employers to prevent illegals from working. Not a surprise. Subsidies. Texas should end subsidies for illegal aliens who are not registering themselves or in the process of doing so from getting free tuition or school enrollment. Uh, None of this is real surprising. Here's the surprising ones. Proposition 6. I'm going to expand this a little bit so you can see it. Oh, that's not right. The Texas legislature should prohibit the deployment of the Texas National Guard to any foreign conflict unless Congress first formally declares war. That one's interesting. So, one, we don't want our guys and girls going overseas and getting shot to pieces because of some idiot in another state decided we're supposed to do it. But what I saw here was we want to keep the Texas National Guard close to home. We don't want our state troops, going somewhere else unless war is formally declared per the Constitution. So think about that. We have 29 states rotating their National Guard through Texas, supporting Texas. But if something pops off in their state, let's say I don't know if Ohio. I keep picking on Ohio because Mad Shad and Vision are from there, and there's a bunch of friends there. But let's say Ohio sends guard troops to Texas, right? So they're supporting Texas, yay. But what if something pops off in Ohio and a bunch of their guardsmen are in Texas? That leaves Ohio at a risk. Does that make sense? So is Texas trying to avoid our guys going to stupid wars, or is this a way of keeping our troops closer to home? Just hold that thought because it gets better. Underneath Proposition 7, the Texas legislature should establish authority within the Texas State Controller's Office sorry about that, to administer access to gold and silver through the Texas Bullion Depository for use as legal tender. I want you to think about that one for a second. Texas basically is saying the state controller will administer options to use gold or silver as legal tender in the state of Texas. Is that going to change the value of the dollar? Probably not. But Texas is one of very few states that has gold bullion that is being kept in the university vaults. And when I say gold bullion, almost $1 billion of gold and silver accumulated over the generations of Texas. If so, what's happening here? Now, one take is it's secessionist. Oh no, they're going to create their own currency and break from America. But what if it's something less evil? What if it's actually someone being smart and saying, we've got BRICS, we've got China and Russia. Our money and our money system is garbage right now. Inflation is insane. People can't afford a new house. People can't afford a car. You buy a basic 40, $50,000 vehicle, which at 5 years ago would have gotten you a very nice car. Now you're getting a basic car and it's costing you a mortgage payment. Are they thinking that it may come apart? Are they thinking we need to have the basis of a gold and silver standard because we don't know what's going to happen to the US dollar? But Texas has to keep moving. So, yeah, on the one hand, when I first read it, I'm like, ooh, that's a little secessionist. That's like, we make our own money to the rest of you. But think about it. If I was a governor or I was a controller and I'm like, looking at the Fed, where the Fed's chairman is actually saying, hey, this hyperinflation, we're going to get hyperinflation. Our debt is out of control. We're doing everything we can within the law. That tells me we're in major trouble. And then you have articles like from the Cryptopolitan, I can't say it right, who say BRICS nations are explore the creation of a new currency. Let me see if I can bring that one up for you so you can see that as well. Oh, hold on a second here. I have done something very wrong here. Do do do. Bear with me. Sorry, sorry. Is that right? There it is. Bam. I'll make my little dude small. BRICS nations explore creation of new currency unit to counter U.S. dollar dominance. Do you think it's possible that somebody in the Texas legislature and the governments in the states are saying, "Hey, that's not good. That's going to be a problem." So that one was interesting. And then, of course, Proposition 8 was to ensure Texans free to give or withhold consent for any vaccine without coercion. That was basically up to Dr. Fauci. Um, and then some more. Oh, and then another one, Texas Constitution should be amended to restore authority to the Texas Attorney General to prosecute election crimes. And Texas parents and guardians should have the right to select schools. They go into some school stuff. But the two I thought very interesting were 6 and 7. 6 was the Texas legislature should prohibit the deployment of the Texas National Guard to a foreign conflict unless Congress first formally declares war. Now, I don't know, to be honest, how that fits into the Constitution. Technically speaking, the president can nationalize the Guard. But if the state constitution then stipulates we're only allowing you to take our people if we are formally at war as per the Constitution. Could they then challenge the president nationalizing the Texas Guard for an overseas deployment as unlawful? It's unconstitutional. It's outside of the bounds of the executive branch. I don't know the answers to this, ladies and gentlemen, but those two proposed amendments are very interesting. Now, you can look at them from a secessionist standpoint and say, oh, they're keeping their army close and they're going to go to their own monetary system. I'm wondering if somebody thinks this crap is going to fall apart. Our financial system is garbage. We have foreign likely have foreign operatives in our country, in our state. We don't need to send the Texas National Guard overseas. We need them here to defend the homeland. Let the federal troops do that unless we formally declare war with someone and we pick a fight in a formal way via the legislature, the way the Constitution's written. And then the gold and silver standard thing. They're going to demonetize crypto, whatever happens. What if the financial system goes down? What if something like the AT&T failure happens to the banking system, to Wall Street? You don't have to hack all the banks. You just have to crater the stock market. It's going to send the value of the dollar one way or the other in some insane direction and either make the money way too useless or put too much of it in the market. Regardless of what direction it goes, those two amendments were very interesting to me. The others were taxes and school choice and more domestic things. Those two bothered me. So, in any case, what is Texas getting ready for, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know the answer to that. But I do know if I thought the system was going to collapse, I'd want my troops home. I'd want my patriots. I'd want my trained personnel, my responders at home to protect our house. And keep in mind, Texas has its own grid. Granted, it can handle hurricanes and tornadoes, but apparently not a freeze. But you think about it, the largest army base in America and two of the largest Air Force bases in America are right here. Are we thinking if it all comes apart, we're going to stand alone until the country gets put back together? Then becomes the question, well, who else is going to come with us if the monetary system collapses? Is Louisiana or Oklahoma or Ohio going to say, hey, you know what? I'm in on that gold and silver standard because the Fed is collapsed? We don't know. These are hypothetical situations, ladies and gentlemen, but those are two actual amendments that I got to vote on this week. I just thought I'd share that with you because something's interesting's going on, but we don't know what it is. What do we do? Wouldn't hurt to have a little gold and silver. Diversify. Make sure you have food because if there's a financial collapse, the dollar may either go one way or the other, and you may have cases of hyperinflation or deflation, regardless of which direction it goes. You want to be able to have the food, the water, the money, whatever you need at home so you don't have to hit the street when the panic happens. Because if the money devalues, everyone's going to rush the banks and it's going to be a disaster. So make yourself ready financially. Pay off all of the debt you can. Save cash if you can keep some cash at the house. Have your food, have your water. Watch the trends. Watch what the rich and powerful do because they'll tip you off. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this one. I hope I didn't give anyone an agita, but I hope you're thinking about what could or could not happen. Until next time, God bless, Godspeed, and I will see you on the next one. Y'all take care.